I just bumped into this, and it felt like, yeah, this is the right thing. And I suppose when you choose a project, you feel there's someone in here that I feel related to. I think I'm vaguely related to John le Carré himself, or George Smiley in some way. To begin with, it's quite scary to handle material of this magnitude, but you have to put that aside. I mean, you can't think of that every day you go to work. Wow, I'm doing this fantastic thing. You just have to sort of get into it. And I was very surprised he's so open-minded with his own material. He said, like, don't do the book. I've already done that. Do something else. He is described as someone, the perfect spy, in the sense that he is someone you would immediately forget when if you saw him on the street. And he's never expressing anything. He asks questions. He never judges anyone. He never gives anything away from what he's thinking. So you might think he's not a very cinematic character, but he is. It was like, yes, he's perfect. He's perfect. He has all the star quality, but he's also a chameleon. How many different characters he created over the years is fantastic. I remember one moment we were doing a little scene. It's described very, very briefly in the script. George is frying an egg. And it's a very sweet scene with him wearing an apron, frying an egg. A very boring situation. And we did it, and it was great. And then Gary came back to me at the monitor to look at it, and he said, I used to be Sid Vicious. He's almost a mythological person, and at the same time, he's the sweetest guy you could ever imagine. He's so generous and open, and all the cast and crew heard about this, that he was coming in this day. Everyone was there to meet him and just to be around him, and he has a little part in the film.
I was in the intelligence community during the great witch hunt periods, when the Americans were saying to us, you're leaky, you've got traitors in your midst in MI5 and MI6 and so on, and everyone was looking over everybody else's shoulder. And inside the intelligence community, I worked in both 5 and 6 at different times. I was employed by both. There was a kind of shared paranoia, to my mind. There was a whisper around which created a tension, which went on working through me for a while after I left that world, and which I then tried to express particularly in Tinker Tailor. For me, the secret world is simply a metaphor for the larger world in which we live, where we also deceive one another, we deceive ourselves, we make up little stories, we act life rather than live it, and so on. You couldn't really imagine in reality Alec Guinness having a love life, as he portrayed Smiley. He had a romantic vision of love, which we shared, and he had a romantic vision of hatred for Carla, if you like, or of disapproval, moral disapproval, which we also shared. But we're making something, I'm not making it, thank God, but they are making something which is a much tougher call. It's without sentiment, it's sexier, it's grittier, it has to be more cruel, it has to be of the modern time. I would not for 1 minute allow myself to compare Guinness with Oldman. I think Oldman is absolutely brilliant in this part and does what he does superbly. I'm hypnotized by his performance. But that is not in any way to deplete Alex. But they're just different beasts in different products. You do feel with Oldman a really extraordinary command of himself as an actor, that he steps right outside himself. And I remember that of Alec putting on the glasses. I do think it looks like this. But with Oldman, you share the pain more. I think you share the danger of life more, the danger of being who he is. That is much more acute. And it's a much tougher Smiley, with here and there, as it is in most of us, a little cruelty. I can't look at this movie and say to myself, well, hang on, that was different in the series, or that's not what's in the book. I'm looking at it as a work of art in itself, which took off from the book I wrote, but has to exist in its own sphere.